Now, I started off by spamming all of my manpower on infantry and going static lines, because if I want to beat the UK, I need to have the best possible defense. And of course, I went max military spending, but for some reason, the UK instantly went to invade France, which makes sense because who likes the French people? And not so surprisingly, he instantly destroyed France. So now my game plan was to let him piece France, get his economy ruined, and declare on him first before he forms so France's unrest stays up and he won't be able to properly attack me. I made the most annoying defense possible. I malinspect all of my infantry and made 2 units of artillery, and then I declared on the UK. And now, since his ego just got instantly brought up by cooking up France, he thought my troops would be easy to defeat. So he foolishly sent over 300,000 infantry right into my island. And the only thing those troops did were destroy my artillery, because other than that, his troops got destroyed by mine and wasn't even close. He then realized he was gonna be cooked and sent me a white piece. But no, no, no. I declared, and I will take my rightful land, and the UK will become the Isle of Man. After I rejected his white piece, he left the game, and that was 1 player down. Also, while editing this, I realized how goofy this flag is. Like, what the hell is this, bro? Now, even though I did defeat the UK, I wouldn't be able to take him over because I simply didn't have enough manpower. So I decided to take Ireland, who have a square city, and honestly, are just much easier to take over. And after it cores down, I could use the square city to make tanks. I then used my huge brain to make a crazy play. So since this new AI update makes the AI try to defend its country, it would move to the cities that are taken. So I took this one city from the UK that's in Northern Ireland. And for the UK's troops to get there, they would need to pass through the Isle of Man. And that's where I would destroy all of his AI troops. And I mean, come on, who else would have thought of this? After the Irish chose to be a part of the Isle of Man without me using any force, I used their land to make tanks and auto capture the UK. The UK also had France, so I definitely needed tanks to take them over. But honestly, this was the hardest part of the whole game because the stupid freaking AI UK kept making those stupid little 10k infantry to keep retaking small cities. And holy, how much time it took me to just take the tanks who were auto capturing back to stop those dumb little. I finally took over the UK and had such a good time doing it. And after I finished taking them over, I didn't go into any wars and tried to fix my economy and develop a little. But then I decided that Spain was going to have the chance to join my amazing country. So I made a small amount of 1.2 million infantry and mountain specialized them before entering Spain. I also justified on Spain pretty early, so he did have some time to defend. But honestly, there was no way that his tanks were ever going to beat my infantry. So I walked into Madrid, stole Mbappe, and successfully took over Spain as well. While I was taking over Spain, I noticed that Turkey and Russia had a full-on World War III happening without me, and they were cooking up both Egypt and Italy. And originally, I wasn't going to join because I wanted them to get weakened so I could kill both sides of the war, and wanted to core down Spain before joining. But I decided that I might as well have fun now. So I allied Germany, who was losing to Russia at the start, and I sent my 1.2 million infantry through Germany and into Moscow. Russia did try defending with his tanks, but again, there was no chance he was ever going to beat my infantry. So I easily took over Moscow, and Germany started to also push into Russia. But then Sokoto declared on Egypt, who was the person who declared the war, and tried holding on so he couldn't get white pieced. So while me and Germany were fighting in Russia, Sokoto was taking over Egyptian cities, and while I tried to send troops to retake Egyptian cities so he couldn't get force pieced, it was too late. Turkey pieced him and ended the war, and Russia got all of his land back, and he got barely no damage done to him because I didn't scorch any of his cities. So me and Germany knew that we had to get prepared and declare again. And Brazil kept trying to make me become his puppet. Like he sent this request 15 times. I don't know why he thought it was gonna work. So me and Germany started building up our army, and we were going to declare right when the truce ended. And both Turkey and Russia knew we were going to fight again. But this time, they had India and China on their side. So this war was gonna be much harder than before because we lost Egypt and Italy, and they gained India and China. I also took over Italy to get a direct border with Turkey and the Balkans, so when we were ready for war, I could attack him in the small part Italy owned. Finally, me and Germany were ready. I was going to go for Turkey, and he was going to focus on Russia. I made 4 million infantry, and my plan was going to be to auto capture with 2 million and use the other 2 million to try and take his capital. But for some reason, he sent 2.3 million infantry to try and kill mine. Like this guy must not know the power of my static infantry. He got so cooked. I had barely any losses, and all of his troops evaporated. I then started to auto capture, and he panicked and spammed a bunch more infantry. And since we were both on static and he had forts on every city, I decided that auto capturing wasn't going to work. I needed to take his capital first. So I brought all of my troops back and got ready. I also sent like 1.5 million infantry into Russia to take Moscow again. Like I genuinely don't know what Russia was doing. He was letting us cook him up. I then moved my infantry through Turkey, and right when I was going to attack Istanbul, he sent all of his infantry to try and kill mine. So I moved them back and got them as entrenched as possible so that his troops wouldn't kill mine. And once again, I cooked up his troops, and I still had 1.8 million infantry remaining, and I used them to take over Istanbul. Ankara wasn't protected, so I tried to go take it over as well, but once again, this guy started panic spamming infantry, and I think he was getting funded by either India or China, but it's fine because I killed the infantry that was spawning in and I moved my infantry to Turkey's capital. But I guess that my troops got really weakened because I lost that war. So I had to prepare a new army to attack him again. I made 2.2 million more infantry and sent it through Turkey. And this time I flanked the troops on his capital and finally successfully took it over and started to auto capture. So now Russia and Turkey were basically dead. So I had to focus on India. Germany had already started to send a huge army of tanks to take over India, so I sent some infantry through Russia to try and attack India from Kazakhstan. And I did easily kill all of his tanks, but Germany had basically already killed India. And by the time my infantry arrived, that was like basically the end of India. So India was out of the war now, and China wasn't really doing much, and me and Germany wanted to go. So I peaced Turkey, Russia, and India and left China to die as it was already breaking apart. And I became the #1 ranked country in the game. And that's exactly how I turned Isle of Man into the strongest country in Rise of Nations. And you guys better like and subscribe if you like this video so I can keep making more like it.